how to reframe mindset. So, what is positive
Um,
thinking? Can you give me the answer? One by one, I ask the questions.
sure thing. So basically, positive thinking isn't about just ignoring the bad stuff or pretending everything's perfect. It's more like it's an approach to life where you expect good results and handle the tough spots with a more productive, optimistic mindset. Makes sense?
How does positive thinking affect mental health?
It's kind of like a shield for your brain. When you shift your focus away from the worst case scenario, it lowers your stress levels and keeps that constant feeling of anxiety from taking over. It doesn't fix everything, but it usually makes you feel way more resilient when things actually do go south.
Why is positive mindset important in daily life?
Honestly, it just makes the day to day grind way more tolerable. When you got a positive mindset, you don't get as bogged down by the little annoyances like, traffic or a rude comment. It keeps you moving forward instead of just spiraling over things you can't even control.
Can positive thinking improve physical health and how?
I've heard it actually does. People say that when you're less stressed, your heart doesn't have to work as hard, can lower blood pressure. Plus, if you're in a better headspace, you're usually more likely to, actually get some sleep and take care of yourself. And
What is the difference between positive thinking and ignoring problems?
that's a big one. Ignoring problems is just putting a rug over a hole in the floor and hoping nobody trips. Positive thinking is acknowledging the hole is there, but believing you've actually got the tools to fix it. One is avoidance, the other is, well, solution oriented.
What does it mean to reframe your mindset?
It's basically just changing the lens you're looking through. Like, instead of thinking I'm stuck in a dead end situation, you reframe it as this is a challenging phase that's teaching me what I actually want. It's not lying to yourself, it's just finding a more useful way to view the facts.
Why is mindset important for success?
Because, well, your mindset basically dictates how you react to failure. If you think a mistake is a dead end, you stop, but you see it as a lesson, you keep going. Success is mostly just, hmm, it's just outlasting the frustration, really.
How can people turn failure into learning opportunities?
It's all about the why. Instead of just feeling bad about it, you kind of dissect it. Ask yourself what specifically went sideways and what you do differently next time. Once you turn the failure into a data point, it stops being a weight and starts being a map.
What are some simple ways to develop positive thinking habits?
Small stuff helps, like, practicing gratitude, just noticing a few things that didn't suck today, or catching yourself when you're spiraling and intentionally flipping the script. Honestly, just hanging out with people who aren't constantly complaining helps a lot too.
How does gratitude help create
I
a
think you
positive
might be.
mindset? Gratitude,
Oh, you mean gratitude?
gratitude.
Yeah, exactly. Gratitude basically forces your brain to scan for the wins instead of the losses. It's hard to feel completely defeated when you're actively reminding yourself of the things that are actually working in your life. It just shifts the energy.
Can surrounding yourself with positive people influence your thinking?
Huge time. It's kind of like emotional contagion. If you're around people who only see the negatives, um, you start picking up those habits without even realizing it. But when you're with people who are driven and optimistic, it just naturally pulls you up to that level.
How can affirmations improve confidence and motivation?
They're kind of like a mental rehearsal. If you keep telling yourself you got this, you're basically training your brain to believe it. Doesn't happen overnight, but it helps quiet that inner critic that usually tells you you're not ready.
Why is it important to focus on solution instead of problems?
Because focusing on the problem is just spinning your wheels. It keeps you stuck in the stress of the situation. Shifting to the solution actually gives you a sense of control and, you know, actually gets you moving toward a fix instead of just complaining about the mess.
What role does self-talk play in mindset development?
Basically, the soundtrack of your life. If your inner voice is constantly roasting you or telling you that you're going to fail, that's the reality you start living in. When you clean up that self-talk, you're essentially reprogramming how you handle everything.
How can affirmation
Go on.
affirmation improve confidence and
How
motivation?
oh wait, we just touched on this, but to dive deeper, it's really about breaking the cycle of negative loops. When you consciously replace a "this is too hard" thought with something like "I can handle this," you're actually building a new neural path. It's basically just mental training.
Why is it important to focus on solution instead of problems?
Again, it's because dwelling on the problem just keeps you in a state of stress. It's a loop. Focusing on the solution shifts you from being a victim of the situation to being the one in charge of fixing it. One feels heavy, the other feels like progress.
How can positive thinking help during difficult situations?
It doesn't make the situation disappear, but it stops the panic from taking that, mm, that mental space to stay calm and actually think clearly. When you believe there's a way out, you're way more likely to actually find it.
Why are some common causes of negative thinking?
A lot of it is just mm, ingrained habits. Like some people grew up in environments where the default was to expect the worst. And you've got things like social media, which is basically a machine for making you feel like you're falling behind. And honestly, just being exhausted, when you're burned out, your brain naturally leans toward the negative.
How can meditation or mindfulness support positive thinking?
See, it basically gives you a gap. Instead of just reacting to a negative thought, mindfulness lets you, it lets you observe the thought without actually believing it. It's kind of like watching a car drive past instead of jumping in the driver's seat and letting it take you somewhere you don't want to go.
Can reading motivational books help improve mindset?
Sure, they can. It's mostly about getting a new perspective. When you read about someone else who hit a wall and figured out a way over it, kind of proves that it's actually possible, just as long as you actually apply the stuff instead of just reading it.
How does social media affect people's mindset?
It's a total double edged sword. On one hand, you can find cool communities and inspiration, but mostly it's a highlight reel. You're comparing your behind the scenes mess to everyone else's curated best moments, which is a fast track to feeling like you're not doing enough. It's kind of a trap.
How can a student benefit from positive thinking?
It's a game changer for them. Studying is a grind, and when you're hitting a wall with a tough subject, a positive mindset keeps you from just giving up. It turns "I'm not good at this" into "I haven't figured this out yet," which is it's the difference between quitting and actually learning.
Okay, please give me the last message would you give to someone struggling with negative thoughts?
I'll tell them that it's okay to not be okay, and they don't have to force a smile. But just remember, you aren't your thoughts. You're the one observing them. Just try to be as kind to yourself as you'd be to a friend in the same spot. One small shift at a time.
Okay, very thankful. We will come on new topic. So now we are leaving now. Very, very thankful.